Hello, everyone. Welcome to this month's edition of the Fertility Talk Show with Dr. Love. This is August edition, and we have a wonderful guest with us today in the person of Mrs. Ifeinwa Enabulele. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being part of this program today.
Thank you.
Today, we are looking at a very interesting topic, and this topic came about because of what the month is about in the fertility industry. The month of August is tagged Fertility Education Initiative. That's what the month of August is designated for. So we are campaigning for fertility education, and Law Foundation thought that it was important to look at this topic in-depthly. It has informed almost all the programs we did this month, our online seminar, the support group meeting, most of our posts this month has been around fertility education. This topic is so important, and we also thought that it was something that we should talk about in our talk show. And we have this special guest. She is an IT specialist. She is a pastor's wife. And we want to look at this topic together and then talk around it. And we want you, our viewers, to also pay very rapt attention, because you'll be learning a thing or two from this month's edition. So once again, Miss Ife, welcome.
Thank you.
So fertility education, that's what the topic is. As somebody who is in the education space to some extent, both in the social media space, IT, and also church space. When you hear fertility education, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
Okay, I'll first of all start with explaining what fertility education is.
Okay.
Fertility education is the process of teaching people
Okay.
how the human reproductive system works.
Okay. So basic, teaching people how the reproductive system works. Now, when I hear this, I remember my secondary school days. It was one of the very interesting topics. When we are learning biology, I don't know why, as children, we always look forward to when we teach about this reproductive health. It was so interesting. And then our teacher disappointed us. He was a very sponge, serious, born again kind of Christian. And then when he got to the topic, we were like, let's see how this thing will come out of this man's mouth. And he disappointed us. He came on that day, wrote it on the board, reproductive health, and said, this is your assignment, read it up. We were so disappointed because we did not get the interesting thing. The gist we wanted to hear. So basically, like you have defined, fertility education is teaching people how the reproductive system works. And that is so profound. A lot of times people think that these things should be known just by doctors, or it should be known by maybe children during when they are just trying to learn school to write exams or things like that. But in the fertility industry, we are designating an entire month for campaigning about fertility education. We think it's something that people need to know. We think it's not something that should be limited to medical personnel or healthcare professionals. It shouldn't be limited only to schools. We want more people to learn about this fertility education. And that is what we would like to delve in today. For you, our viewers, we want you to stay tuned, because we'll be talking more about this topic. Who needs to know about it, what exactly it entails, and everything in between. Don't go anywhere. My name is Dr. Love, and you are on the Fertility Talk Show with Dr. Love. If you are just joining us this month, we are talking about fertility education. I have introduced my beautiful guest here, Mrs. Ifeinwa Enabulele, and we are going to look at this topic together. We have already defined what fertility education is, and she has told us graciously that it is teaching people how the reproductive system works. Very basic, very simple, very profound. And we have said that the month of August is tagged Fertility Education Initiative because in the fertility industry, we think more people need to know about fertility education. So over to you again, Mrs. Ifeinwa. Who do you think needs to know about this fertility education? Who do you think needs fertility education? We've said it is how the reproductive system works. So who needs to know about it?
Okay, first thing I would say, everybody needs to know about it. It is not just, outlined for certain persons. But now in the fertility, when we talk about fertility, for couples trying to conceive, they need this education. Then for people preparing for future pregnancies, they need this fertility education. And for other people who are learning about reproduction, their health, they also need it. So it has to do with the young, the old, and even the middle age.
Okay. So everybody needs fertility education. This is very, very important to note. It is no longer something that we should say, okay, it is the doctor that needs to know, or the nurses or health professionals. Everybody needs to know. So we are talking about mothers. Mothers need to know. A lot of times, people think it's only the mothers that should know. Fathers need to know. That's what we are saying. Fathers need to know. And of course, when they know, they should be able to teach their children. People who are trying to conceive, of course, they need to know. Yes, they are in that space where they are actively trying to get pregnant. They should know what they expect from their bodies.
Yes.
We run fertility counseling program as one of our activities as an organization. And it is, well, it's no longer shocking to me anyway, but it used to be so alarming how much people did not know
about stuff like this,
about how their bodies work. It used to be something very, I used to wonder at it, like there is such a huge knowledge gap from what people ought to know and what they have no idea about. Some people don't know about their cycles, they don't know about their menses, they don't know about ovulation. You ask them, they say, I don't really know. And they truthfully do not know. They are not being funny. They're not being tricky. They really do not know. So everybody needs to know about it. The woman who is trying to get pregnant, you need to know how your body is working. The mother who already has kids needs to know how her body works and to know how to teach her children about how the body works. It shouldn't be limited to schools. The father needs to know. Sometimes men talk better with their boys, so they should have an idea. Maybe sometimes it's not the mother that should tell the sons some things. If the man doesn't even know anything, what will he be able to tell his children? And then you said something else that is very interesting. People who are even just thinking about getting pregnant, they are not in that,
just preparing.
Yes, they're not in that space yet. Maybe they're not even married, but they need to know. It's something that they should have as a background information. Oh, this is how my body works. This is what I'm expecting my body to do. I have a cycle. This is what happens in that cycle. Those are basic information that people need to have. When we talked about, when we were having our online seminar, a few other group of people came in the discussion of people that need to know about fertility and reproductive health. And we talked about policy makers. Policy makers, that means people in government, people in authority. Do you think it's important for them to know? And if yes, why?
For me, it's very important for them to also know, because they will help in, preparing more information, especially to the public, to people who needs it, because so many people are just enclosed in their own space. They don't even know what is happening. They don't even have an idea or, of what their body, entails, of what they need to know about their reproduction. So the policy, in government, it's something that needs to be well expatiated. Yes. Especially maybe to schools, to hospitals, because some people just come to the hospital, they hear one thing or the other. But you have some, some people from the government who are there to plan, prepare, for programs, for education, for them to not just give some health talks. It will really, really, improve people, because sometimes you just storm into some gatherings and you don't even know what they're saying. But it's an opportunity, to learn, and you take something home that is very important for you, that you did not even, think of or plan to do. So sometimes those policies are very, very important.
Okay, yes. What you said now just got me thinking, because there are a lot of government programs that they carry out.
Yeah.
It's in form of health awareness programs.
Yes.
The way we know about immunization now, a lot of times you see government officials carrying their coolers, going from place to place, saying they need to immunize children, and people know, people are aware. In the past, they used to be afraid of people like that, but now they know because there's a lot of publicity about it. There's a lot of awareness generated on that topic. So people know, people welcome them, and people, do things like that. If things like that are done for fertility health by the government, you send people out for education, you mentioned schools. As an organization, we do it as part of our work. We go to secondary schools and higher institutions to talk about fertility and reproductive health. But just like what you're saying, it's something that the government should also take over.
Yeah.
So we are saying government should come and partner with people like us.
Yes.
We're already doing it. But it's very profound because like when we do go to secondary schools, you see the utter blankness in the children when we're talking about some things. When we gather children, you expect noise.
Yeah.
And initially they are talking, they are disinterested, they are distracted with other things, and then we just continue talking, and little by little you are hearing silence.
Yeah.
Little by little the noise is stopping because they are hearing something that obviously they have not heard before. And they just pay attention. You see all the children suddenly are quiet, are attentive. You don't need to beg them anymore. They are attentive, they are listening, and you see them nodding their head little by little. You know that it's sinking, And eventually after the talk, you see people asking very intelligent questions from these little ones. And you can see the almost relief that finally I can talk about this thing.
Yeah.
Finally I can ask somebody. Because they're not having these conversations anywhere. It's not happening at home. It's not happening in the churches. It's not happening in their social groups. Unfortunately, if you want to happen among peer groups, it's the wrong part that they will hear.
Yeah.
During our support group meeting this month, a lady was talking about how, unfortunately, this thing we are chasing children, policing them, trying to stop them from having sexual intercourse at an early age would automatically stop if they know some of the consequences attached to it. But because nobody is talking about it, they only learn that if you're not doing this, you're not a big boy or you're not a big girl. That is where the conversation ends. And nobody tells them of the consequences. What can come out of it? Okay, pregnancy, if you are doing termination, these are things that can happen.
Yeah, the risk factor.
The risk factors. Thank you. Children abuse contraceptive pills these days because they don't even know what it is. They don't even know what the consequences of using such pills over time. They just know that if you take this pill, you will not get pregnant. That's all they know. Nobody has gone in depth to talk about the side effects. The risk factors are associated with certain health practices, lifestyle choices. Children are using drugs. They don't even know what it can do to them in the future. All these things are what we are advocating for when we are talking about fertility education. So policymakers, it's important for them to know because they are the best people to drive this kind of education. And they can make it across board. It can be as part of extracurricular activities in schools. People can just find a way. They can find
even
a way
in churches.
Find a way to come around churches, mosques, wherever, and let this be known. Thank you very much for that insightful talk. I hope you are understanding what we are talking about, our dear viewers, and learning something. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are still on this very important and interesting topic today, fertility education. We have our guest speaker with us today, and she has thrown a lot of light on the topic, what it is, and who should receive fertility education. If you are just joining us, welcome. Stay tuned. You will still learn a lot. I wanted to ask another question, why fertility education is important, but I think we have talked around it a lot. It's important because people need to know how the system works. Young ones need to know everything that is inclusive in that topic, not just one-sided knowledge. Women trying to conceive need to even know what to expect from their bodies, to know what to how it should work, so that when it's not working, they will know that yes, it's actually working. This is not the way it is supposed to be.
Performed choices.
So these are the importances of fertility education. I don't know if you want to say one or two more things in addition.
Okay, so because we've already talked more on it, but one of the important is that it makes them have better awareness. Like they have, like I said earlier, performed choices. You know, okay, if I do this, this is what I'm going to get. If I'm not doing this is what I'm going to get. The conception, the delay, the effect, the side effect, everything entails in this importance. Because because they said information is power.
Yes.
If you're not informed, you are deformed.
Exactly.
So, and knowledge is something that everybody craves to get. You push for it. You don't just see it and expect the knowledge to come to you. You work towards it. So even as a woman, those trying to conceive, those preparing, you work towards it. You don't sit and get information. You go after it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very, very profound. You have to go after information. It's important to get it for the reasons we have mentioned, but it's important to know that you need to go after that information. I think this is the missing link for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you are a pastor's wife. I like to dive into that aspect. And we hear a lot of people in church. I'm going to say church because that's the environment I know. I don't know so much about mosques, Muslims, and maybe people who don't believe in God, how they factor these things in. But in church, we have a lot of people saying, I'm waiting on God. God will do it. I'm believing God. I'm trusting God. I know God. God will answer, and sentences like that. And sometimes it makes my heart bleed because when people say these kind of things, there is almost an assumption that God is not doing anything or doing enough or doing much. And we see these people eventually get frustrated, get angry, get bitter at God eventually, because if they've stayed for such a long time trusting and believing, and it seems like God is not answering them, they begin to get angry, they begin to get frustrated, they begin to feel like, what's happening? Is it that God is not answering? Is this in a lie? But we know that it is not a lie. And you said something that makes all the difference. They have to go for it. That's where I think a lot of us are getting it wrong. People think that information should just come to them or God should just do everything. No. When we teach people during the counseling sessions, we tell them God has done the work of creation. This is how your body has been programmed to work. Do you know how it should work? Because if you don't know how it should work, if it's not working, you will not know.
You will not know.
So I think this is one of the most important things you have said today. People need to go for the information. They need to pursue this knowledge and get it. If I'm going to borrow from Bible again, Bible says, my people, somebody made it so clear that the Bible was not talking about unbelievers.
No.
It wasn't talking about sinners or people who did not love God.
My
people are perishing. The problem wasn't demons. It was lack of knowledge. So I think if there's anything we are going to go home with today is pursue knowledge. Look for it. Grab it. Another part of the Bible says, in all your gettings, get wisdom. On top of wisdom, add understanding. This is very important. People need to know these things. And do you know, it's unfortunate that until now, we still have churches. There's no other way to put it. We still have churches who refuse talks like this in their congregation. Their reason is that it downplays people's faith in God, people's absolute dependence on God. Please, can you say something about that?
Okay. I've heard so many, women who have come in contact with talk about this thing. When you ask them, haven't you gone for medical treatment and the rest? They say no, it will push down or it will water down my faith. No, that's wrong, because that's a misconception.
Yes.
Very, very. So I think, the churches, the pastors or whoever, and we have medical teams in the church, we have medical professionals in the church. They are supposed to be able to, educate or enlighten the people or those who are in need, because right now everybody's in need for one thing or the other. You enlighten them about fertility education. It doesn't mean that it will water down your faith or you don't have faith. Because now I'll go to the Bible. When God told Abraham, "You be the father of many nations," he did not just sit, because he said, "Move." So he moved.
Okay.
If God said, "You will be the father of many nations," and you sit, nothing's going to happen. Nothing. But he went further. He married.
Okay.
When he told Abraham that you expect a son, he did not just say, "Oh, I'm not going to meet with my wife, the son will come." No, but he took a step further. So we too in the church, we are not just supposed to be telling our congregation, "Okay, if you do this, if you go, it means you don't have faith." No, you need to go and seek medical advice. You seek medical advice. You've waited 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. You still pray. God is hearing your prayer, but he needs you to move. He needs you to move and fulfill his scripture, because he said, "Children are the heritage of the Lord." Abi? So that does not mean you will sit, he's going to throw children to you. No, you're going to work towards it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. This came from a pastor's wife. Let it not be that Dr. Love is just saying what she doesn't know. And I think this is where we fail it a lot of times.
Yeah.
People, unfortunately, I hope people in this Christendom and leaders particularly can hear things like this. We have a few people who are becoming enlightened and are welcoming of this kind of things. They even invite us again. Another program we carry out is to go to churches to educate people. We are all for education and awareness creation as an organization. So we also do go to churches to teach people about their fertility and their reproductive health. So you want to reach out to us to do that, you are welcome. You don't charge money for it. So we are happy when we have churches invite us to come and talk about it. And we hope that others will learn that there is nothing like watering down of faith. Why do you have medical outreaches and you teach people to treat for malaria? Why do you have medical outreaches? So we are saying, why do we now have medical outreaches? You have people come to check their blood pressure and check for diabetes and check for malaria and maybe even give drugs. Then why is it that when it comes to medical fertility health, it becomes a watering down of faith? You know, it doesn't add up. Fertility and reproductive health issues are also medical challenges. They are also part of health related issues and should also be addressed as such. So if everybody learns this and begins to practice it, we'll find out that there'll be better awareness. Like you said, one of the most important reasons why this is necessary, this fertility education is necessary, is for improved awareness. People will do more if they know more. People will keep perishing if they do not know. So let's keep pushing this fertility education for as much as we can, as far as we can take it. Final question. How then do you encourage people to seek? You have said that people should pursue it, people should seek for it by themselves. They shouldn't just stay in one place and expect solutions to come. They should seek for those solutions. They should seek for information. When it comes to fertility education, how do you propose that people should get those knowledge?
Okay, we have health clinics.
Okay.
We have, sometimes you see some gathering, like the hospital I worked with last. I know sometimes they have this health talk. They have this program, but it's channeled towards other things, but not fertility. So you have women who comes for antenatal, who comes for other issues like that. It's an opportunity to chip in infertility, anything that has to do with fertility education. Because from one person who's in the hospital will go out and talk to another person. I heard this, search. Now we have phone. We're in the era of technology. What are you using your phone to do? To watch movies or to go for TikTok? And search for information. Yes, and follow. Search for information. Look for a topic. We have ChatGPT. We have AI. There are things you can put in. You read up. You check. You don't just hear from the boss or you're just taking the taxi and you hear one person. You just say, I'm going to follow this person. No. After hearing all those things, you go to seek for like all these specialists. You sit, you ask questions, you book an appointment. Now we have fertility specialists in that area. You go for it. It's just like you have if your leg is broken, you know who to reach.
To the orthopedist,
Yes. So it's just like we have different specialists, different stages. When it comes to fertility, we have people handling it. Don't just assume that you know your body. If your stomach is paining you, you know that you're going to take something. No, you don't even know what's wrong with you. You go for tests, right?
Yeah.
So we have different areas. You go for tests, you have this, you know this. Okay, you know that, oh, I'm not seeing my flow well. Okay, you have to go to see a gynae and say, this is wrong. Yes, so we are going to have a one-on-one talk. So don't just sit. So you have all those things. Then you have schools, just like we said, you have the church, to enlighten them. So we have the social media. It's something that, you can stay at the comfort of your house and go through your phone, take your system, you type, you search, you listen to people. You listen. It is just like this program now. You have people who are there, who are looking for just that one information, and you don't know what your speaking or your advice may do to that person.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is very, very interesting and important. People need to look for the information. Somebody might be saying, how am I going to get the information? You have heard it from the mouth of our speaker today. There are so many channels available to you now. I like a part of the scripture that says something. When I remember that, it makes me happy. The Bible says somewhere, go to them that sell and buy. Go to them that sell and buy. That thing you don't have, look for it. If it means you pay a little, do that, because you'll be getting information that you otherwise might not have. If you don't want to immediately do that, you think maybe you're not in that situation yet, to go and start looking for specialists. Our people, they like last minute things. So for you, if you feel that it hasn't gotten to that point, you never reach like that, to start going to fertility clinic, to go and start asking a few questions. She has said it here. You have AI, you have Chat GPT. What are you using it for? Are you using it to ask interesting questions? Let me not say silly questions. Why is the sky red today? All those kind of things that are not beneficial. You can invest your time, your data, your energy into seeking out truth, into seeking out information that can do a lot of transformation for you. So that's what we are encouraging people to do. If it comes to fertility health, you can find specialists. You can ask questions on groups. We have Love Foundation. We will always recommend what we know and what we are doing. You have organizations like Love Foundation ready to dish out information. We are across almost all the social media handles. If you search Love Foundation, you know that this organization, this is what they are into: fertility education and awareness creation and support. You follow organizations like that. You follow channels like that. There are so many. So you can search for fertility health. You will see a lot of things. The one you are not sure of, you can now take it a step further, ask actual medical personnel. Oh, I heard this. Is it correct? And now you have a lot of facilities that have opportunity for you to send messages.
Yes.
So you don't always have to go for consultation and pay money. There are some things you might just want to know. Some centers now have clients relations. So you can easily send in questions. Please, I'm just thinking about this. Is this correct?
How do I go about this? I heard this.
Can you help me get more information on this? And they would respond. We don't know because we have not looked for. Even the Bible says that those that seek shall find. And so we are encouraging all our listeners, all our viewers today, seek information. Follow fertility-related channels, pages, and handles so that you can learn more about fertility and reproductive health. It doesn't matter whether you are trying to conceive or not. You might be a young person. You plan to have a family someday. This is the time to gather correct information. Let it be like arsenals, that you can use in the day of battle, in quotes. Sometime in the future, you might be trying to get pregnant. How much do you know about it? Somebody was teaching it someday and said, anywhere you have challenge in your life, there is likely a knowledge gap. There is likely a knowledge gap. Anywhere you are having a challenge, there is likely a knowledge gap. There is not something you don't know. And once you get that knowledge, once you get that truth, you will be free and you will get the solutions that you require. We hope this has been impactful. We hope somebody has learned something from today's topic. Information is important. Everybody needs fertility education, from fathers, mothers, young people, policymakers, church leaders. They all need this information. It is important for you to know how your body works so that you know when it is not working, and you know what to do about it. How to get this information is to seek for it, pursue it, find any means you can to get it. Look for people who know it and ask them. Follow groups and organizations who teach these things. Confirm them with your own medical healthcare providers, and you are on your way to gathering information that can help you or somebody else close to you in the future. As always, our slogan at Love Foundation is learn to teach others. When you do get this information, when you have learned a thing or two, when you are in a gathering where they are talking about it, please lend your voice to the topic and say something positive, something productive. The way our guest has said here, ask questions. Oh, have you done this? Have you tried this? Let it be that you are giving out the right information. Unfortunately, people who have the wrong information are very quick to disperse them.
Yes.
When you go to
They are
the
very
market,
quick. They will say, I heard from my neighbor. My neighbor said this.
My
Meanwhile,
uncle's
your
sister's
neighbor is not
brother's
even
child.
a specialist or does not even have, he's just,
Any
he
information.
or she is just saying out of their head knowledge.
Well,
Just saying
some other old wives' tales.
Yes.
Some other gossip.
So they just take it and just keep it to themselves.
Yeah.
Like they don't just want to take another step further to go and dig in
to know.
So they just take that and just relax.
And that they walk by that.
Yeah.
Some of the things we hear when we do counseling is amazing. Some people say some very funny things, and you're like, where
did you get this from?
Where are you hearing these things from? But it's the reality. So pursue knowledge, seek the right ones to get the correct information, follow professionals who know these things in that field, and you can be sure that you are on the right track to getting solutions to whatever challenges might come up in the area of fertility and reproductive health. As always, we encourage you to follow Love Foundation, because you will always get up-to-date correct information about everything you need to know, as long as it has to do with fertility and reproductive health. You can follow us across all our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Love Foundation. You want to go through all that we do as an organization, go to our website at www.lovefoundationng.com, and you can just be part of what you're doing, volunteer, contribute, support. If you're policymakers, partner with us, and let's get this work going. You want to reach out to somebody in particular that is just want to have a one-on-one with somebody, you can reach us on WhatsApp or call on 08175629809. However you want to reach out, there will always be somebody to talk to you. From this side of the studio, we are saying thank you very much, first of all, to our
Thank you, Doctor,
guest,
for having me.
Mrs. Ife, and to you, our beautiful viewers. Thank you too for staying with us on this program. Until we bring another yet interesting topic your way in our next edition, we say keep learning and learn to teach others. Bye-bye.
Bye.